The the AGRIXTRA, that's an interesting name. AGRIXTRA. How do you say that?
AGRIXTRA is what we call
Extra.
it.
Oh, you're doing okay. AGRIXTRA. Okay.
Right. Emphasize on the X as an
Got you.
AGRIXTRA.
I'm reading it as a typed out word, so I'm like, probably should have got that right from the bat. But anyway, that's my bad. Can you just walk? Because you said every product has every aspect of the tire has a specific design. Can you walk it? So there's the FLOTXTRA. You've also got I think there was another brand I want to. No, you've got those two lines. So the
Correct.
AGRIXTRA and the FLOTXTRA.
Yeah.
Can you just sort of unpack a little bit about those two tire lines?
Yes. One of the things we're doing differently, going back to the kind of the early comments, Jared, about how are we going to market in a different way, is we've tried, rather than, if you look at some of our competitors, we tend to have competitors that put tire, just a number on a product, or they put a specific name on a product to say, well, this is this X tire. We grouped all of our products under one family. We call it AGRIXTRA, and then we tailored the offering into a subfamily of aspect ratios.
Yeah.
What that means is it's related to the tire dimension. So from a market standpoint, from a dealer standpoint, from an end user, farmer, grower standpoint, it's easy identification. Anything that's an AGRIXTRA in our product offering is essentially geared to the 5 top machinery fields, whether that's a mechanical front wheel drive tractor, whether that's a 4-wheel drive tractor, whether that is a self-propelled sprayer, whether that's a combine harvester or a flotation machine. All of our tires are designed to fit that machinery. Then we sub-tailor it by aspect ratio in terms of how the tire sizing is. That allows both the dealers and the farmers to dive into the detail and say, okay, I start at the top and I work my way down to what size do I need based on the application. The other thing it helps us to do is also to uniformly have a common tread design that we are confident works in every application. The FLOTXTRA is our flotation solution tire. This is a market that's continuing to evolve worldwide. I would argue that in Europe, it's significantly more radialized. So that's the difference between a radial and a bias tire. It's in the casing construction of the product. And that just has to do with the fact that farming operations in Europe are required to operate up and down highways and paved roads, which we have less of that restriction in, call it the New World, South America, North America, or even Asia, in terms of the restrictions on ag equipment. In Europe, they have to abide by certain speeds and loads because they're on highways. So part of the design strategy with our products is to create products that are not just tailored to a specific product or a specific application, but also tailored to a global audience, right? We have to meet the need here, there, et cetera, and be consistent worldwide.
Did that, and I was going to actually ask you about that as well, is well, you've already touched on it, that difference in global, you're handling it on a global scale, right? The ag sector.
Yes, I am.
So is that, I mean, obviously you have a team that you're working with and adapting, but it's actually quite, there's quite a lot of differences as you look from market to market, right?
Absolutely. And that's why if you look at ag tires, the size offering is such a critical part of the offer, because farming operations and farming applications are different depending where you are in the world. What we do in North America, and I'm going to use Canada and the US, traditionally speaking, tractors above 150 horsepower are used for farming operations. That same application in Europe, so think of the same crop, maybe a different soil, will use tractors that are smaller than 150 horsepower. And then when you go to Asia, because of how farming operations happen, they do the same thing, but with tractors below 100 horsepower. We're all dealing with the same crop. We're all dealing with, I would argue, the same tractor machinery makers, but the size and scope of the operation dictates the tire size, the application, and how it's going to operate.